My dumbass used to think this movie was pronounced as AXONE. Well, I'm sure I was not the only one. Initially, this video was just supposed to be a movie review. However, there are just so many things to be talked about, especially because I'm a Nepali person, and as a Nepali viewer, I just had a lot of things to say. So this video is going to be somewhat of a discussion. Hey beautiful people, it's me, your local diva Anurag, and today I will be talking about AXONE. So the basic premise of this film is that a group of Northeast people living in Delhi, they are preparing for a friend's wedding, which is not your typical Indian wedding with band baja barat and they want to cook this special traditional dish called AXONE, which is basically fermented soya beans, but it's a challenge and they have to cook in secret because
It stinks.
it stinks like dirty feet covered in poop. Okay, I'm not exaggerating. So it will disrupt the entire neighborhood. And along with this plot, the issues of racism and the struggles of Northeast people are also highlighted. Now, the story is very unique and interesting. It looks like it could have been like a funny, heartwarming comedy, while at the same time shedding light on the racism that Northeast people are subjected to. But the problem lies in the fact that this wonderful idea is not executed well. The structure of the film is very haphazard and the editing lacks a professional touch, and even the camera movements and angles could have been better. As you can see, these are all technical aspects of the film, and because they weren't done properly, it gives a very indie and amateur feel to the film. Now let's come to the character of Upashna Rai, who is a Nepali character, and she is played by a Bengali actress, Shayani Gupta. I was shocked when I found out she is the same actor who played the blind woman from Margarita with a Straw. I did not recognize her at all. She's also in 4 more shots, but I haven't seen that, so. The fact that all the Northeast characters are played by Northeastern people, but they couldn't hire a Nepali actor to play a Nepali character, it just feels like a weird casting choice and it bothers me. If you are doing representation right, why leave out one character? Did you think that we wouldn't notice or that we wouldn't care? There's another scene that really bothered me as well. So Chanbi, the main character who is Northeast, asks Upashna, why don't you know how to cook AXONE? And Upashna says, oh, we Nepali people don't eat AXONE.
This is not true.
AXONE is a part of the traditional Nepali cuisine as well. We just have a different name for it. We call it kinema. Now in the film they are cooking smoked pork with AXONE, so maybe Upashna meant that she doesn't know how to cook that. But her dialogue clearly says that we Nepali people don't eat AXONE. So this just alienates the Nepali viewer from the Nepali character, and it makes us feel like we are not being represented appropriately on screen. There's also another scene where Upashna realizes that she is not considered a part of the Northeast community because she is a Nepali, and she understandably feels left out and betrayed by her friend. I just find it ironic that in real life the casting choice seems to reflect the same issue. Now that we are talking about this particular scene, let me give my personal opinion about it. So it was really surprising to see this moment where Upashna realizes that her friend does not consider her as part of the Northeast community and she feels hurt. Now, in reality, most Nepali people do not consider themselves to be a part of the Northeast community. Geographically, Sikkim and the Darjeeling Hills, where most of the Nepali community resides, it is separate from the Northeast region. Even linguistically and culturally, we are more similar with the mainland Indians. So Nepali and Northeast people are different. The thing is, racism does not bother to differentiate at all. When we are discriminated, we are all put under the same category. For racists, we are all the same. Nepali, Northeast, whatever, we are all discriminated just the same. So this shared experience of being discriminated ties the Nepali and Northeast people together. So there is kind of like a solidarity between us, between the two communities, but not really a sense of belongingness. We are allies, but we are not family. So the fact that they addressed this idea a little bit through Upashna's story was really interesting to me, and it just added a complex layer of meaning to race and racial experiences. To any other person, Shayani Gupta's performance may have been good, but to me, a Nepali person, yeah, I could see right through her. Her dialect, her accent, her delivery, they were not executed properly at all, and her performance just felt a little forced to me. Hiring an actual Nepali person to do the job would have been easier. But I do appreciate Shayani for all her efforts. She did her best with what she was given. No, she does pass as a Nepali person, and she looks gorgeous in the traditional Nepali attire. So good for her, I guess. Yay, Nepali representation. There's another Northeast character called Ben, who has a really tragic past which has left a really deep impact on his mental state. His background story is a harsh reminder to us that sometimes racism can turn violent, which we can clearly see today with what is happening around us in the world. Now there's a scene with this character called Shiv, who is a local Delhi boy, not Northeastern, and Ben calls him a fucking Indian. To which, Shiv is understandably shocked, and he asks, "Don't you consider yourself Indian?" Now, although Ben's reaction is kind of justified because of his, violent past and the fact that he's clearly suffering from PTSD, but it does highlight another major issue, that is reverse racism. I have actually witnessed a few Northeast people who call mainlanders Indians, as if they are not Indians. It implies that they are separate and they do not consider themselves to be a part of the nation. In their defense, and this is totally my personal opinion, so in their defense, I just feel like this reverse racism stems from a place of self-defense mechanism, which has over time become discriminatory. Nepali and Northeast people have been subject to racism for decades. Our nationality is always being questioned. We are always called, Chinese, Japanese, blah, blah, blah. So I think calling mainlanders Indian is the Northeastern way of separating themselves from the racist Indian population. They are not saying that they don't belong to India. They're saying that they are not a part of the large Indian population who discriminates against Northeast people. They just don't want to be a part of that. I'm not saying it's right, but this reverse racism stems from the same racist system that Northeast people are subject to. Now this character of Shiv, who is not Northeastern, but he is a local Delhi boy. He is very annoying, but he's also very helpful. He is a good person, but the thing is, he practices casual racism, which he does not seem to realize. He is in fact quite accepting of the Northeast community, and he has no discriminatory intentions within him, but he does have racist tendencies, which I think is the result of his exposure to the racist environment that he is surrounded by. He is representative of the common Indian youth who has, picked up various stereotypical ideas from, his surroundings, like his family members or his elders or his friends or the media. But he does have the potential to unlearn them, educate himself, and become a better person, because he is not inherently racist or discriminatory. He has a good heart. Now, the actor who played Shiv was, kind of over enthusiastic and over the top in some scenes, but I think overall he did a good job and he executed the character nicely. Chanbi, the main character, played by Lin Leishram, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correct. She is the star of the film. Her performance is clearly the best out of all, and it seems like she knows what she's doing. She is a natural when it comes to acting, even though she is let down by the dialogues sometimes, but she does have some acting talent in her. Her storyline about being harassed by some men kind of made me uncomfortable and cringe a little bit. However, I do think it was realistic and it is a reflection of what happens in real life. The rest of the Northeast cast were more or less alright. However, you could totally tell that they were amateurs. Shiv's grandmother and father, they were acted out really well by the actors who played them. I also like the scene where all the Northeast characters are decked out in their traditional attires and they walk down the street. Like, it was such a beautiful and proud moment. It did have the potential to be visually more powerful if the deserted streets had been filled with, curious and judgmental people, just looking at them, staring at them while they walk down the street with pride, wearing their traditional dresses. But I'll take what I'm given. Lastly, I really liked how AXONE was used as a metaphor for Northeast people. You know how so many people are repulsed by the Northeast community and how they have this stereotypical and racist ideas about us. I do wish that at the end some, people, non-Northeast people had, tasted AXONE and realized that it actually tastes really good despite the smell. So that would have really enforced the idea of, don't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, don't judge a food by its smell. However, I guess that would have been unrealistically positive. Background change because it started to rain. But that's alright because I have said all the things that I wanted to say about the film. Despite its flaws, I think a lot of Northeast people will relate to the movie, but that also means that it may not interest a lot of the mainstream audience. I'll admit that it may not be easy to sit through the whole movie because you might get bored or annoyed, but that's largely the fault of the structure and technical aspects of the film. Overall, the film has an original plot, it is made with good intentions, it has thought-provoking messages, which should encourage everyone to support it. It is multilingual, it has a large Northeast cast, and it is about Northeast people and their experiences, which makes this a very unique film in an industry and a country that renders us invisible. I think this is a rare cinematic experience where Northeast people are represented realistically, so I think it is very important to watch this film and support it. So that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you have watched this film, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, or whether you agree or disagree with my discussions that I made. I would love to hear your opinions. So I hope you found this video enjoyable and insightful. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye!